That doesn't mean that they're wrong, because honestly, you cannot have peace without war. It's just a harsh reality of our world. You want peace, bro, you gotta fight for it. That's straight up. Don't think that you can have peace if you ain't willing to go to war for it. That's the realest thing I can tell you. And I hate that that's the truth. Right, that you can't really get around it, but you can't get around it, bro. Like, you just simply can't. If you want peace, man, you better be willing to fight for that joke. And, it's like Dave Chappelle when he was talking about, he was discussing what his mom would say to embolden him when he was a young kid. He was real soft, very sensitive. Again, similar to me as a young kid. And he said his mom would say things like, son, you have to be a lion in order to be a lamb sometimes. Thanks for tuning in to my gaming podcast, Gems in Gaming, where I play various games and tell different stories about my life, experiences, wisdom, anything to help inspire and encourage others. You were born with the ability to change someone's life, and you should never waste it. If you enjoy, please like, comment, or subscribe. Yo, what's going on, y'all? Alright, so today's Gems in Gaming might be fairly short, fairly simple too. But basically, I was listening to Port Antonio by J. Cole, one of his newest songs, and very, very peaceful, very calming song, great vibe. Like, if you listening to it at night rolling down the city, that sounds like a pure vibe right there. Yeah, that's the type of vibe I get from the song, and I love it personally. It's like how I was about to say grew up listening to him. I don't know if that's actually the right term. By the time I started listening to J. Cole, I was probably like 18. So, I mean, I guess grew up. You can kind of say that. Your 20s, you're still growing. I mean, as much as we like to pretend we know everything and we're adults at 20, you still don't know anything. So, I grew up listening to him, and that's kind of the vibe I got from Port Antonio. Just the old nostalgic, just vibing, rhyming about what someone like me would appreciate. Like, someone from a similar place. I'm from College Park. He's from Fayetteville. Someone from a similar place, someone who has a similar background, hood dude with a degree, even kill, pretty chill person, a hooper, someone that ain't really looking for smoke, but will indulge if necessary. He kind of just reminds me, he just reminds me of something I think I would want to, or someone I would want to be like if I was a celebrity. Like, just kind of chill, still very talented in my craft. But also at the same time, because I'm so similar, I would say, I think, sometimes I want to appease people and, do what makes some people happy instead of doing what makes myself happy. That's how you get into a situation where you got to apologize for doing certain things. He had to apologize, or he didn't have to, but he apologized to Kendrick for his approach in his diss track. He felt like it's the right thing to do, but at the same time, it's not really him. It's not really his swag. Even some of his songs recently, not really his, not really the music I was listening to growing up, like talking about guns and murder and all that. Like, that wasn't the J. Cole I was really listening to. Even though he is fire at his art, it's not really his message, right? But at the same time, just because it's not his message, that doesn't mean, someone like Kendrick, who's like, yo, I want all the smoke, that doesn't mean his message isn't, oh dang, that doesn't mean his message isn't is wrong. Just because I have the mentality that I prefer peace, it doesn't mean that someone who is willing to, who who is willing to be violent, I guess. That doesn't mean that they're wrong, because honestly, you cannot have peace without war. It's just the harsh reality of our world. You want peace, bro, you gotta fight for it. That's straight up. Don't think that you can have peace if you ain't willing to go to war for it. That's the realest thing I can tell you. And I hate that that's the truth. That you can't really get around it, but you can't get around it, bro. Like, you just simply can't. If you want peace, man, you better be willing to fight for that junk. It's like Dave Chappelle, when he was talking about, he was discussing what his mom would say to embolden him when he was a young kid. He was real soft, very sensitive. Again, similar to me as a young kid. And he said his mom would say things like, son, you have to be a lion in order to be a lamb sometimes. Obviously, he said it far more graceful and described it far more accurate than I just did. But, basically, if you want peace, man, you got to fight for that junk. Like, that's the realest thing I can tell you. Kendrick chose violence, right? But I don't think he was living a lie. Like, I don't think it was for attention or anything like that. I think he was just being honest, and he was quoting his honesty in a very vicious way. J. Cole's Port Antonio, I think he was being honest about how he felt, and I think he was talking about it in a very calming, disarming way. And I love both forms of art because it's authentic, it's real. Like, I didn't feel fakeness from either one of those art forms, and I think that's just like one of the most underrated and underappreciated aspects of art is it sheds light into the truth of our world, that sometimes you gotta fight for. Sometimes the way that you fight doesn't have to be the way that someone else's fight, but that doesn't mean the way someone else does it is incorrect or wrong. You can't judge any man or any woman. Like, without like I was saying, without peace, without war, there can be no peace. Like, you simply gotta fight for it. Like, that's real. You gotta fight for it. And if you don't fight, then all right, you better just pray that someone else fights for your peace. And you don't really want that either, right? Like, you don't really want that either. Sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone in order to get peace. I'm a huge believer in God. But if I believe in God, then that means I believe in the devil. And I believe he's a real entity. If I say that there's one creator and I believe in that creator, I wouldn't appreciate that creator without the opposition of the devil. That's his whole purpose of being here, or that's our purpose of being here with the devil, is you get to choose, bro. You want peace or you want war. You want chaos or you want peace. I say it like that. You want calmness or you want stability. You gotta pick and choose. And sometimes you gotta go through one in order to get through the other. I ain't gonna lie, like, I'd rather be chill and peaceful and stuff like that, but I know me, like, when I play ball, like, sometimes, bro, I just get in that mode. I just black out, bro, cause y'all know how. If y'all hoop, you know how it is. Some people really try you. Some people really try you and see if you sweet at all. Like, and I'm from Atlanta, so sweet mean like you ain't tough whatsoever. And like, some people will really try you like that, and they want to see, they want to test. And because I kind of grew up like around people like that all the time and getting targeted all the time, as I got older, I realized, like, yo, you gotta unfortunately, you gotta check some people. And if you don't check them, they just gonna continue to try you. So sometimes I go into like this pure beast mode, especially when I hoop, and I just let them know like, yo, I'm not the one, bro. Like, I'm not the one, bro. Like, just pick somebody else. Like, College Park comes out of me too much, bro. Like, just pick somebody else. So, I say that to say, like, I prefer not to go there, but I know sometimes I do go there, and I don't want to say I have to, Lord willing, I can avoid it, but in reality, with some people, you gotta let them know, like, yo, this is what I am suppressing in order to be calm. So just don't even test me, right? So, even though you kind of regret it later, at least me, like sometimes I go off on somebody and I think the next day, like, bro, why did I do that, bro? Like, when I see red, bro, I just can't stop. Like, they just gonna have to catch it. Like, they want the smoke, they gonna have to get it. Like, that's how I be feeling. But then right afterwards, I'm just like, bro, why on earth did I say that or did I do that? I could have spared this man, or typically men, I could have spared this man, bro. But it's all good though. Even though I don't always win in the situations that I want to win, the aftermath sometimes is such a peaceful environment, because now I'm basically creating a situation where, look, like, I don't want war, bro, so just let me have peace. Like, you don't want this either. You don't want this war either. I wouldn't have learned to believe in God so much if I wasn't walking the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, God is the truth. He's the way. He's the right. He's the light. Unless I've been in the darkness, bro. That'd be so hypocritical of me if I didn't sin and didn't say that, yo, God is the right way. Like, or excuse me, it'd be hypocritical of me if I sinned, or if I never sinned and I was like, yo, man, how could y'all not serve God? You know what I mean? Like, how would I know? Like, you want peace? Sometimes you gotta go through war, bro. If you've been in peace so much, you can't really. If you only experience peace, if you never experience any problems whatsoever, you have no right to talk about war, because somebody is fighting war. Like, sometimes, especially in a first world country, it's because somebody has fought for your peace that you even have the luxury of judging other people for fighting, or for being violent, or for war, or whatever the case is. Like, it's only because of what, dang, it's kind of poetic if you think about it, right? Because it's only because of this great world that was created for us that we even get to experience life on a day-to-day. It's only thanks to God's mercy that I'm able to even, like, screw up, bro. So to, like, judge somebody for screwing up, or to judge somebody for living a different way, to me, it's just crazy. It's ludicrous if you think about it. It doesn't really make sense. Like, you can choose peace, you can choose war, but the one thing I would encourage everybody to do is just to choose your truth, bro. Like choose your truth in your moment. Like, truth is consistent. I get speaking engagements, and the last thing I was saying in my speaking engagements is truth is consistent. It's not something that changes. That's why I don't like gossip, or dude, he said, she said. Like, that junk is so corny to me, because it's like, I'm gonna have a side of the story, someone else is gonna have a side of the story, but is 9 out of 10 is not going to be the truth of the entire situation, because when people tell stories, they share perspectives, and perspectives aren't always facts. Like, it's just like, this is what I think, And sometimes we change the way that we think. It's human nature. But the truth, what actually happens, that junk will never go away. Ever. Ever. Truth is consistent. No matter how long you try to hide it, that junk will come to light, bro. And I'm telling you, there's nothing you can do to hide. There's nothing you can do to suppress truth forever. Like, it's impossible. Temporarily, I can see it. 5 years, I can see it. 10 years, I can see it. Forever? Nah, I don't believe it, bro. So that's why you should choose truth instead of truth over everything. It doesn't matter if you fighting a war in that moment, bro, and you believe that's the right thing to do, or if you're being true to you, then keep fighting, because you're creating a peaceful situation for somebody. There's a quote: "Someone is in the shade today because of a tree that was planted years ago," and I believe that might be Warren Buffett. I believe that's Warren Buffett. I could be wrong, but y'all can look it up. But yeah, that's why I was just thinking about this topic and just listening to Cole and just like, man, I love how authentic that he is, even through all the criticism. Who cares? At the end of the day, who cares, bro? Like, I'm just trying to be true to me, and being true to me, this is how it looks for me. Like, and this is going to actually bring me peace, or this is going to bring me stability, right? Some people, like Kendrick, he's like, bro, I want to smoke, and if I gotta bring smoke in order to have some peace, then I'm gonna do it. That's beautiful. now certain people might not try certain things or do certain things because he chose to fight a war. That's also beautiful. I guarantee both those men are probably sleeping peacefully. I mean, and it's not because of the method, but it's because of their authenticity. Wait, excuse me. Authenticity. That's a new word. It's because of their authenticity. So, whatever you do in life, man, just be true to you. Like, it ain't really no other way to say it. I said I was gonna keep it short, simple, and that's what we gonna do. We gonna ride out here, man. Y'all take it easy and God bless.